we're here with the men's volleyball coach for the Purple Raiders, Mr. Matt Mihelic. Coach is going into his 8th season as the head coach of the men's volleyball team, 2-time MCVL Coach of the Year, and they're coming off the season where they won the MCVL. So, open to questions now. Right there, middle row.
Say your name and your...
Estella Woodworth, senior. Coach, coming off a 20-9 season in both MCVL titles, how do you plan to build on that success heading into next year?
Yeah, that gave us a great look into the secret to winning and success on the court. What it takes to persevere, fight through some injuries, as well as still, persevere towards winning and being, undefeated in our league, as well as winning in playoffs. So it helps us to teach the guys that are still in the program the culture and what it takes to win and to continue through and see through to your goals.
Chloe, I'm a senior. With key players like Michael Bowler earning All-American honors, how do you see his leadership and experience shaping the team's approach this season?
Yeah, he is our lightning rod. And what happens there is basically they all look at him to lead, not just through words, but through actions as well. I feel like he is, our singular and sole lightning rod that drives us, and he brings a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of how he goes is the way that the team goes. And so it's very telling when he is up and excited and into the games and matches and things are going well and great. And it's also telling when things are not going so well. So he brings a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement to our team in good times and in bad. And he holds his teammates accountable for their actions as well as what they're doing on and off the court.
Again, front row.
Chloe, senior. Mount Union went a perfect 8-0 in conference play this past season. What challenges do you expect as other teams try to match or counter that dominance next season?
Yeah, there's several teams that are very strong within our league. We always expect high levels of competition, and we get it. We feel like we're going to get everybody's best shot every time we take the floor. And we prepared our team for that last year, going into every, not only league play, but non-league play as well. So we were up for the challenge, and we had a couple of close ones, but were lucky enough to persevere and remain undefeated within league play and regular season, and then, of course, winning the 2 in our postseason as well to win our league's postseason tournament.
I'm Grace. I'm a senior. You've been with Mount Union since the men's volleyball team's program's very beginning in 2019. What was it like to build a team from the ground up?
Yeah, so that's tough times, going from 0 to league championships. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of perseverance. It takes a lot of seeing the wins that don't exactly show up on the scoreboard. Those little things that you do right that will eventually lead to points on the scoreboard and then wins on the per set. And then you move into set wins, and then you win into match wins. So it's very much like a pyramid. You're building on blocks, step by step, next level, trying to steer the team in the right direction while you're playing against. I have mostly 18-year-olds playing against mostly 22-year-olds. So basically high school seniors playing against college seniors, which was very intimidating, very difficult to continue to have them grow as well as see the good that they were doing. For me to be able to put my own stamp on that really drove us to, I feel like, have a good and positive outcome when we did have good things that happen, and then we build upon that. It was tough. Our first season, we were 8-20. I was very ambitious with our schedule. I don't know if 8 wins was good or bad. Looking back on it, I think it was okay. But it was just seeing the little things that really made a difference. Then the second year, we added, obviously, another recruiting class that gave us more competition within the gym And we started turning our season around. We were 11-3 until COVID hit, and it was, we were looking at our schedule at one point that year and said, I think we can actually flip our schedule or our record to 20-9 this year, 20-8 instead of 8-20, and then couldn't play anymore. So went to 2021 and had a great schedule there. Then the next year we kept scheduling more difficult opponents, and that really drove our program, drove myself to coach a little harder, the guys to play a little harder, and to really grow our program into, I would say, a contending team outside of our league, as well as, get recognition outside of our conference, as well as a national competitor.
In the back.
My name is Brock. How has your business background helped you be able to sell recruits to Mount Union?
Yeah, so I was in sales for years out of college, and I feel like I'm selling a $40,000 car every year to multiple different families, and that's sometimes a very difficult thing to do. But when your car is a very nice car and it's got a lot of features to it, it's very easy to sell when there's a very good community here. There's wonderful facilities here, and it's an excellent education. I feel like the place sells itself. There's a lot of different people from different backgrounds that come in and will bring their background of volleyball as well as academics, and want to grow here as a player and as a student. And that, I think, we hit the nail on the head in both accounts. The sales background has helped me to close, I just closed one today, commitments here. And that has, I've always learned from that, ask for the sale. And so when he was last visiting here on campus, I said, hey, you're welcome to commit here right now today. And that was just last Friday. And so he went home, thought about it, called me today, and committed to us. So I've had several of those happen, which has been fantastic. And it's always a goosebumps moment when somebody says, I'm coming to you. So I really, Mount Union is such a supportive community, and it's a great environment to bring young men and women into.
Hi, Quinn Justin, freshman. What part of the team's performance, whether offensively or defensively, are you most focused on strengthening in the offseason?
Yeah, men's volleyball is very offensively focused. That kind of comes with its own animal, basically. So I have been trying to this fall focus on defense. Ball control is a huge thing that men's volleyball players don't grow up with. So we've been honing in ball control on defense, blocking as well, digging around the block, those sorts of things. Offense, you put in a system and the guys thrive. They really do tee off on the ball and make sure that, in men's volleyball, it's kill or be killed, basically. So if we're not killing, then we have a big problem. So we transitioned 2 out of every 3 balls last year in serve receive to be a point for us. So that was through what we do in our practices, but also we wanted to increase our number of conversion rate from the other team's offense to our defensive transition rate. So that was under 20%. And in men's volleyball, that's not a bad number, but it's not a great number. So I've been focusing on defense a lot more.
In the back.
I'm Thomas. I'm a freshman here. As you enter your 8th season, what goals do you have for your program moving forward?
Yeah, so goals for the program, we're starting to get a great base behind us. Every year I say this to everybody, if my goal isn't to win a national championship, then what am I doing here? So that's my goal with my program, is to win a national championship and then the next year do it again. The team and I have smaller goals to make those steps happen. Their team goals are to achieve the postseason, which means do well against our league opponents, and then obviously make the postseason tournament for the MCVL, and then win that postseason tournament. And then that gives us an automatic berth into the NCAA tournament, where this year they're expanding the top 20 teams in the country. So, top 20, 20 teams into the country. So that's a great goal for us individually, as well as our steps to, wanting to grow the program, get national notoriety, as well as become not just a contender, but become the contender for it.
Gerard Williams, I'm a junior. How do you keep your players motivated after a historic year, even though you guys are now the defending champions?
Yeah, so I think a historic year like that creates a standard, and the standard is the standard. We expect high levels of competition on the other side of the net, so we'll give our high level of competition. They do it in practice. They bring it all the time, and I couldn't ask more for them. They have a certain standard and level that they want to achieve as well. Individually, they have goals. As a team, they have goals. So, we break those goals down into individual types of, progression, and then see where their progress goes. And we move from there to create that into a team environment positively, and adding in the dynamic of play and the dynamic of us, what we did last year. There's no choice but to go forward and progress. We know that we have a large target on our back, and we know that we are going to get everyone's best game every year. So I have to prepare my team right now for their optimal performance right out of the gate in January.
In the back there.
I'm Bree Bradbury, a freshman. How was playing in California last year during the fires kind of that experience strengthened your team overall?
So that trip was extremely stressful, and not just because of who we were playing, but what was going on around us. Those fires were devastating out there until we saw the large plumes of smoke coming off the coast of California when we were landing. We didn't really expect or know what to expect when we were coming into that. Thankfully, we were allowed to land, continue, and play. They had power outages all over. But that really, when we got to our place we were staying that night, there was no power. And so we had to make some alternative plans, and it actually ended up to be the best thing we ever did. We had the guys staying in an Airbnb, and there was no power, so we went to the Walmart, got some lights and powered by batteries, like in the camping section, and we just had a night of playing cards, sitting around talking, and just having a good time. That was the best team bonding moment I think I've ever had in the last 8 years that we've been together, because we do something every year during our week while we're here and nobody else is here except for a couple other sports in January, and that was the best time that we had, because we really got to talking with each other, got to know each other beyond, just what we see each other in the gym. And not only did we do that outside of volleyball court, but inside the volleyball court, we won on Friday night against a Wisconsin Lutheran team, and then we played the defending national champions the next game that night, the host team, California Lutheran, and beat them. And they were, I think, preseason number 3. And that was a signature win for our program. It was our biggest win that we had against a ranked opponent. And the guys were just absolutely thriving and loved the competitive environment that we were in. And to go in there on their own court and beat them was a great statement for us. So that was a huge bonding moment for our team.
There in the front, just a couple more questions.
Isaac Haas, freshman. You were recognized as MCVL Coach of the Year. What do you attribute that success to?
Yeah, I don't hit one ball, I don't set one ball, I don't block or serve one ball. Those guys all do it. If they weren't executing and they weren't doing what they need to be doing on the court, it that would solely reflect on the coach, right? So that is very nice to be recognized with those awards. My assistant coach takes a lot off me during the games. He does individual type stuff. I do game management type stuff. In practices, the planning, the recruiting, all that is me, but our execution is myself, my assistant coach, and our players. And they really know when it's time to work, and they know when it's time to have fun. And so I feel like we walk that line sometimes, but we also, get things done when we need to get things done. So that's a great award and a great accomplishment or achievement to earn from the other coaches in our league. But I like to think that my assistant coach had a great deal to do with that, as well as obviously the players going out there and making it happen.
About 2 or 3 more, actually. 2 or 3 more questions. They're in the front.
I'm Aiden. I'm a sophomore. When you talk about your team, it sounds like you're sharing a sense of community and brotherhood between the team, and it leads to success. So my question would be, when you look back, and what would you hope your players take away from after they graduate from the team?
Yeah, that's one of the best things I think that we have is a good sense of community around here. When I recruit players, I try to get players that are good to each other on the court and good to each other off the court. And I feel like I've done a good job of that to obtain players that come from good families, have a good background, and just are very, good young men. As they're here and as with their time here, that they're growing to be, this is a dress rehearsal for work. This is a dress rehearsal for life later on. Can you work in a team environment? Can you help to grow individually and then bring that to the team? There's a lot of parallels in sports to the rest of your life. It's a microcosm of life, basically. So I feel like, we do a good job of raising and continuing to do what obviously their parents and themselves are doing for themselves, but growing them in interpersonal connections between teammates, as well as talking to their professors and being more, getting out from underneath their mom or dad's or their guardians' wings of being their own young men and leading their lives in the ways that are correct and the right way to live life. Volleyball teaches you ethics, morals, accountability, all things that translate over into your days past here.
They're in the front.
Chloe, I'm a senior. You had a very strong senior class last season, and a lot of them have gone. There was about 6 seniors last year. How has it been watching the younger guys step into these leadership roles and fill the shoes of the past class?
Yeah, so it's been, it's difficult to replace all that experience. It really is a difficult thing. The rookies that are coming in, I call them, have done a really good job of just being big sponges and learning and growing as a player, and realizing that they might have been one of, if not the best player on their high school team or club team, but now they're amongst other guys that were some of their best players, and now that has kind of translated into, I need to hear what I need to do now to grow as a player at this level. And so there's a lot of growth that's going on right now in terms of IQ, volleyball IQ, as well as skills and drills type ability type things that they're growing as players. So I'd be remiss to say if I wasn't showing or looking at film from last year, just to kind of show them a little bit of, hey, here's what you need to do and here's how you need to do it type of thing. As well as, with the senior and junior that are left here with us, they are translating a lot of that IQ to that level as well, and they are helping to kind of bring along the rookies. Along with the big sophomore class that we have, we've got a lot of good guys that were, obviously still here from last season, and they're still bringing a lot of that high level of execution as well as knowledge to the court. And so while it's going to be very difficult to fill the experience that we lost, the rookies that are playing right now are earning spots on the court through their play and through their knowledge building.
All right, one final question. There in the front.
Chloe, senior. What would you say Mount Union has done for you as a whole and for your coaching philosophy, for the program, for all of the players that you've coached since 2019, and what is your biggest takeaway that Mount Union has given you?
Boy, the first word that comes to my mind is support. Support of myself as growth as a coach, support for my program, our program, because anything I've asked for, within reason obviously, I've been well supported by the school to have. The support that they give our students and student athletes is unmatched. Even during COVID, when we needed another workout area, they added the one in the field house within weeks of doing that because we needed to spread out. It is an honor and a pleasure to coach here. I've talked to several other coaches and they don't have what we have. It's just as simple as that. The work-life balance that Mount Union offers me is tremendous. I have 3 young boys at home and a wife that I leave for 4 months at a time, it seems like, to coach and do what I love. But it's support. And if you have that in your life around you, whether it's personal or professional, you're going to go far.
All right. Thank you, Coach Mihelic. Good luck this upcoming season, and let's everybody give him a round of applause.